Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Bird, and I am choosing Earth Day to launch this channel, and I'm really excited that I get to share a full tarot reading. So some of you might have been following me at Bird's Eye Insight on Instagram, and that's awesome. I'm loving the love over there, and I'm loving the engagement. I'm loving seeing what other people are doing with tarot and healing and magical arts. One thing that's really important to me in my practice is that it's never just about me. I'm an activist witch, and I teach magical activism. And oftentimes I use tarot as a way of trying to understand a political or social problem and trying to get perspective on how we can act collectively. And I work with other earth-based spiritual beings and witches and healers and magical entities of various descriptions as a collective to do this kind of work. So today I wanted to do a 5-card spread for Earth Day. And so just to orient you, welcome to my altar. Her cloth changes depending on the season. As you see, I'm really wanting to welcome the sun right now. So that's where we're at. And then if I just pan over here, you see my candles. I call this my goddess squad. And each stone in that bowl represents a goddess. And this is my devotional candle to Inanna and to my spirit guide. We got Hecate here, or Hecate, however you want to pronounce her name. Covens have fallen over that argument. And Gaia, feathers of course, because I am Bird. Each one gifted to me in a very specific and particular way. And then what I won't show you are the photos of my children. But they're there too. Oh, and I remember my witch tree. Here's my magic wand, which she gifted to me a couple of years ago. When I start a tarot reading, I like to just center and ground. The amount of time that takes really depends on how you're arriving and how the other person is arriving. Now, in this case, I am looking out over the beautiful woods that surround my house, in particular a crabapple tree, which is very important in the magical traditions of the indigenous, particularly the Algonquin, Anishinaabeg, and Haudenosaunee of the Canadian Shield, and a ginkgo tree, which isn't supposed to be on the Canadian Shield, but nonetheless it is, and an elderberry, which is the witch tree. Always ask permission before you harvest her berries. So my connection right now is with this natural world that I want to have a conversation with about how I can support her. And so as I'm grounding, I'm lighting sage that I grew in my garden last summer. It's not white sage, but it's meaningful to me. And I'm just letting the smoke kind of connect these two worlds, being aware of the elements, the fire that allows the earth of the sage to burn into the smoke in the air, the water that was required for that sage to grow, the water that smoke will turn into as it rises further and further up and condenses into clouds, which will come back down to earth. And so the cycle continues. And when things are feeling calm and centered, and like I'm in a sacred space. That's when I know it's time to tap in. And in this case, I've created an intentional spread. It's a 5-card spread. It first asks, what is the Earth's current state? What are we refusing to see right now? What systems are crumbling? Where do we find the hope and action? And what messages are there from the activist magical beings, from the wild daughters and the ones who are standing at the threshold of resistance to this new order that is trying so persistently to make itself known? Okay, so the Earth's current state. It's an interesting card to get. The 9 of Cups. This is usually a card of celebration, of plenty. Cups represent emotions. And in this card, as you can see, it's quite joyous, but it's also a release. And so the Earth's current state maybe is one of release that might feel joyful to her. It might not be so joyful for us. But we wrote that script, didn't we? But that's not all we have to learn here. What are we refusing to see? The Ace of Swords. So aces are about new ideas, new beginnings, new initiatives. And swords are about the intellect and strategy. So there's something that we're missing in all of this. My hunch is that it's that we're not listening well enough to young people. It's partly because of the Ace and partly because of the 9 of Cups, because there's a joyfully youthful energy in that card as well. And that, that if we kind of got quiet and listened to the younger ones and trusted them and allowed them to trust themselves, that we might learn a thing or two that could help us to save this planet. What systems are crumbling? This is also an interesting one. So here we get the Page of Cups. This is the Pigs Can Fly card. The page is playful and open to different things, but also in the Cups suit can be a little bit too fantastical, a little bit too hopeful, sometimes rose-colored glasses. And so in this spread for our beautiful planet, I would say that the Page of Cups is telling us that the systems that are crumbling are the ones that created the illusions that what we were doing on this planet was actually okay. I hope that's true. That the illusions that burning fossil fuels and clear-cutting forests and strip mining, taking lands from indigenous peoples and then poisoning them so that nothing could ever grow on them again, that's crumbling, that those were all illusions, they were lies we told ourselves. In the same way they said cigarettes don't kill. And the next card is about hope, what lies ahead. And you see this is the Knight of Wands. This card gives me hope to see. So knights are often about charging ahead, like young masculine energy, just like let's go for it, let's seize the day. And so this card is suggesting that, again, it feels very youthful to me, that the hope lies in the youth, and that when the youth are able to make their voices heard, to be seen, to be known, and to allow wands or creativity, so also to be seen through their creativity, not just their intellect. That this is where real change in how we think about this planet and interact with all of the creatures on this planet can be found. And then finally, what messages from activists, change makers, and magical beings? And this is a lovely message, the Ten of Cups. So this is really a card about completion, about connection, about community and hope. And so if I take this all together, my read is that we are at a turning point. I don't think that's new to anybody. And that the earth is probably ready to release us. And good on her, as she should. Understandable. But that we are not hopeless. On this Earth Day, we are not hopeless. But we need to start listening to other voices, not just our own. We got to get out of the echo chamber. We got to get past the illusions. And then we got to turn toward the people who are going to inherit, who are part of those next 7 generations. And we got to remember community. I feel like community is so frail right now for so many people. It's so fragile. It is for me too. Because we're all tired and we're all worried. But we shouldn't let that tear us apart, should we? Happy Earth Day. Go do something good for the planet, and then go do something good for yourself.